My name is Farah, and what do you do when you are bullied? Now, the last thing that I wanted anyone to tell me at the time that I got bullied, or what I perceived as being bullied, was not to exaggerate, that it will all be okay eventually anyway, or that I should talk to someone. Now, as soon as you're struggling with something, I believe it's worth looking into that. Second, there was zero indication from my perspective that it would all get okay. Third, I didn't feel like anyone understood me or could possibly understand me. It wasn't all negative, this phase in my life, but my vision was clouded. At the time that I was bullied, it was my first year of high school. I didn't feel like I fitted in. My class would often pull pranks on me. It was not so bad as some people that go through physical abuse or that endure this time much longer. But it was bad enough for me to think that everything that could be wrong about me was wrong about me. I was suicidal and I was depressed. When I moved schools and I got out of the bullying environment, I still had a low self-worth and I did almost everything to get external validation. So even if you would get out of this bullying environment, if you don't work on your beliefs, you'll still think somewhere that there is something wrong with you. I get it that you might feel not safe enough to share your inner feelings about what is happening, and that people do mean things towards you, and that because of that you believe that the world is against you. Nowhere the contrary is proven. Get this, when you get out of this phase in your life, you will be so glad that you never gave up. You are in the perfect position to grow. Because when you get out of this, imagine how strong you will be. If you ask yourself, why me? How did I deserve all of this? For just a moment, I want you to step out of this and look at the situation that you are in from a bit of a distance. See and hear yourself and those bulliers. Now ask yourself, what are these bulliers going through to express this type of behavior? One of the transitions in my thinking from moving out of the bullying atmosphere into now was that a lot of these bulliers didn't have at least one parent and they had immense money issues. Now, how would you present yourself in such pressure? You see, I believe everyone does the best they can with what they know how. If they knew better, they would do better. You did not know any better way of presenting yourself as a victim for these bulliers. You didn't know how to protect yourself. You did the best that you could. And the bulliers didn't have any other way of expressing themselves towards you or towards how they dealt with life in any other way than bullying. The plants had perfectly fertile soil to grow in. There was a perfect atmosphere created for all of these behaviors to be expressed in. Now, if you change the type of soil, you change the plants that can grow in them. The second shift in my thinking was that I unconsciously allowed myself to be a victim. I just didn't know how to stand up for me, how to have integrity, how to say no, how to be confident, how not to take things personal, how to protect myself. I was feeling unworthy, and my bulliers probably did too. Because it's my belief that no one that feels amazing in their own skin will deliberately try to hurt other people. There is a deep base of pain and suffering that must be cleared before we can act kindly to each other and to ourselves. How often do you look in the mirror and say to yourself how ugly you are? How much do you believe in the words thrown at you that you are not capable? Luckily, there is a way out of this rat race. No, it's not by condoning the behavior that you all have shown. There was no wrong or right. There is just pain that needs to be set free. Because holding a grudge onto someone or some people is like allowing a snake to be tightly around your neck and then expecting them to get poisoned when the snake is actually in a perfect position to bite you instead. You gotta get rid of the snake to move freely. And eventually, for this to happen, the understanding of this phase in your life will most probably move from suffering and disappointment into bitterness and grief, into confusion and disbalance, into curiosity and trust, into relief and hope, into love and knowing. What you focus on expands, and if you match your thoughts to disappointment and suffering, you'll get more of what you focus on. Now the same goes for all the other things. Now how can you shift your focus when people deliberately hurt you? How can you think about compassion when you don't feel well? The key is in becoming non-receptive towards this bullying behavior so that these bulliers will bypass you because your frequency does not match their radar anymore. The bullying in reality only has potential to actually stop when you stop bullying yourself in your mind. Do you want to prove how bad it all is by believing the worst, or do you really want to get out of this cycle? What can you possibly lose? I would suggest to be more compassionate to yourself. You get a mirror and you look at yourself in this mirror, and this might sound very cheesy, but most often people only see what's wrong about how they look, not necessarily what's right and what's beautiful about them. And not only on the outside, but also on the inside. Whenever you would do something right, to pat yourself on the back or to do more of what you love just because you can. I would avoid circumstances where you know or you suspect you will be judged in the beginning, until the point where you start to validate yourself so much that it doesn't matter what other people say or do any longer. At some point you won't be receptive anymore because you won't tolerate the bullying anymore, because you get what you tolerate, and now they will bypass you because you have so much compassion inside. You believe you're so beautiful and you have so much love in your heart that you can't do anything but be everything else than a victim. You will actually want to learn how to be more social so that the soil is now even more fertile for healthy plants to grow in, into which you have nothing to prove because you have proven everything already to yourself. Thank you so much for watching. If this message was valuable to you, please share it with your friends. Talk to someone about this, or send this over to someone that is going through a hard time. I am Farah Ludwika. I love you more than you know. And I'll see you next time.